today's rundown, we're going to prepare you for when Roblox goes public.
And we're going to talk about the nation's newest unicorn, SalesLoft. Stay tuned. It is Friday, January 8th. This is the Piper Rundown. We analyze business and culture to help you win. Today's rundown is presented by JetStore. JetStore has been providing affordable, reliable, and easy-to-manage data storage and cloud solutions to over 4,000 customers worldwide for over 26 years. JetStore offers storage systems for private cloud hosting, video surveillance, Internet of Things, AI, machine learning, edge computing, data archiving, HPC, media production, medical imaging, and flight simulations. For more details, visit jetstore.com. They can help you with so much stuff.
Our lead story of the day is Roblox. They've raised a $520 million Series H and have announced that instead of an initial public offering, they will be entering public markets in Q1 of 2020 via a direct listing. We're going to talk a little bit about the business, we're going to talk a little bit about this specific strategy, and then we're going to talk about the bear and the bull case for this inevitably publicly traded equity. But the starting point is that this $520 million Series H, which was led by Altimeter Capital, values the company at $29.5 billion. That is a pretty substantial increase from the valuation that they earned in a Series G led by Andreessen Horowitz just 11 months ago. So 11 months ago, valued at $4 billion and now worth $29.5. Part of the reason for that is the explosion in growth in users, but even more substantially, the explosion in growth in time spent on the platform. So the Roblox, which is a free-to-play, child-friendly gaming space, is also a developer platform where anyone at any time can go in and create their own game within the Roblox world, which you need to think of as very much a consolidation of users and a general easy to create physics engine where you could build that physical world.
It's also there's a huge aspect of this that is very educational to a child, should they want to partake in something like that.
Yeah. The way it makes money is by selling Robux and a Roblox premium subscription. They also, on the other end, do branded deals with large companies looking to reach these types of audience. So very much the way Fortnite sells specific skin for a movie or does an integration with Star Wars. Roblox is occupying a similar space, but we're going to break down some subtle nuances in how it's different. It is a very, not necessarily yet profitable, but revenue intensive model. So $312 million of annual revenue in 2018, $488 million worth of annual revenue in 2019. And in just the first 3 quarters, so with 1 quarter yet to be reported, just the first 3 quarters of 2020, $588 million. So this is a company that is growing substantially, not looking like it has any mark of potential slowdown in the near future.
I would think not. I think a lot of that growth can be pointed to pandemic type reasons, and they might have grown substantially faster than they would have had the world not shut down. But now that they've picked up so much steam, it's pretty clear that they know how to keep it going.
Absolutely. 31.1 million daily active users who, here's the big number, spend 2.6 hours per day on average on the platform.
That's mind-blowing. I mean, the only other app that I can really think of that gets that type of numbers is TikTok. Like, everyone says, I intend to spend 10 minutes on TikTok. And
but even those Instagram, TikTok ones, I think the average is like 45, 50 minutes.
Yes, it's never like at a time too. Like I think a huge part of this user base is spending that 2 hours or these extended periods of time in front of a screen instead of like breaks, where I know for myself, my Instagram app usage was skyrocketing because I'd just like check it every so often throughout the day and spend like 10 minutes at a time. But with Roblox, it is very much like directed, focused interaction.
So to get to the financing strategy, this was a company that had filed to go public, and as recently as early December was intending to do an initial public offering where they might raise up to $1 billion in fresh capital and simultaneously become a publicly traded asset, which would, after an initial lockup period, lead to liquidity for those early investors, those early employees looking for their payday. What happened since then is that both Airbnb and DoorDash saw enormous first day and first week pops in the valuation of the equities that were traded, and that was not realized by the companies or their shareholders. They sold a portion of their shares to underwriters, investment banks, who then turned around, sold it to their clients or facilitated the sale to their clients, and those clients and those banks realized all that appreciation in value. They basically said to themselves, yo, we don't want any part of that, so instead we'll take fresh capital at a significantly increased valuation from a firm where if they hold a significant portion, which is still not that much, you think about 500 million in the context of 30 billion, that's 1/60th of the total equity.
That's crazy.
But if they were to hold enough and they were to become a member with a board seat, it's not really the end of the world because you have a competent, growth-oriented board member who's probably pretty aligned in the company vision. Simultaneously, with a direct listing, you can immediately sell shares as a long-term shareholder, and you are not instituted any sort of lockup period. So if this growth in valuation does not sufficiently represent the total value that the market puts on a company like Roblox, it will be those investors, those early employees who realize that value and not the underwriting institution bank and their clients. So that's the strategy there. They're going to have plenty of opportunities in the future to collect fresh and further growth capital because they are not profitable, so that is part of the equation here. They're going to be able to do that because of being a publicly traded company. It's just easier once you're publicly traded. But that is the kind of decision there. And this is a decision where, we've talked about this before, direct listings have not been a mechanism where you can actually raise capital for the company. But there's some changes that are already moving forward and rumbling to potentially be altered in that direction. This is Roblox basically saying, we're going to kind of customize this to our own needs, but accomplish both of those aims. The next part, David Bachewski is the co-founder and CEO. Just want to make a note of this. We always like to cover. Still owns about 12% of the company, so not as not marginalized. What's the word I'm looking for? Diluted as much as the DoorDash owners were, but diluted significantly less than the Airbnb owners were. It will still be an enormous win, and he will be a billionaire, a liquid billionaire. Partially liquid billionaire upon this public offering. One other note on the model for Roblox that is kind of somewhat big deal, similar to Fortnite, is in addition to being this developer tools platform with all these custom games anyone can build within the platform and hundreds of developers on the platform making hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue by building a space in a game that people can come into. A lot of firms, brands, companies are recognizing this as a growth opportunity. One of the biggest ones is Ryan's World.
Oh yeah.
Which is one of the biggest YouTubers on the planet, very child-centric content, playing with toys, opening toys, stuff like that. They've created their own virtual world, and we'll do a little clip of that right here.
Okay, so this area here, this is your house. You can get your own very house here in Ryan's World. Okay, Ryan, what's the first area you want to check out here?
Let's check out the dogs.
All right, guys, so you can go to this travel area here, and it will teleport you to where you want to go.
Which basically demonstrates their model here. They've built this world, and in this world, you can buy virtual goods, which is what people spend their Robux on. So a virtual car, a virtual pet, a virtual house or mansion. It is completely normalized for this younger demographic to want to buy those things, to prioritize the purchasing of virtual goods, which to most people still seems like some sort of futuristic prognostication, as opposed to recognizing right now that one of the most promising technology startups yet to go public or about to go public is basically built on this model here today in 2020.
Yeah, for sure. It's entirely a fake economy that is very real to people.
Yes. So expect to see continued growth in this type of branded gaming, where basically Roblox is the platform on which you could build a game based off of your brand within their world. And that's the idea here with Roblox. Unlike Fortnite, you have to go get acceptance from Epic. You have to go to Epic, say, I want to be a part of Fortnite, or I want to build on your Unreal Engine in order to get in. There's still a gatekeeper. There's no gatekeeper with Roblox. It is much more of an open platform in the way that your crazy aunt or uncle can post to Facebook, or any person can take a picture of themselves, post it to Instagram. It is a similar open, accessible platform like Roblox. So to get to the bull and the bear case, this is one of the hardest ones I've had to find the bear case. I've got one substantial one, but outside of that, not super compelling. Number one, this is a play on the metaverse. We've talked about it a few times in the past in the rundown, but the idea that there's this future that is kind of documented in some different forms of science fiction, where you will be occupying digital spaces. You will build something of a digital identity and live in a digital space, and whether that's going and doing activities, doing economic activities, occupying that for a substantial portion of your time. If you believe in that kind of future, in that vision, Roblox is going to be relevant there without question. They are also a platform that enriches its participants. So if you are a developer on that platform, you have very high incentives to continue to invest there and basically raise the relative value of the product itself, because you're going to take a share of that economic gain. It's always powerful when these tech companies can accrue value through the unpaid efforts of others, and that's definitely happening on Roblox. The third is that this is a young user base, and the bearishness might be, well, they'll grow out of gaming. That's obviously not happening, given the proliferation of gaming across the age spectrum, but they're also probably at the nadir of their potential buying power. So if you think about their economic potential in the future, it is only going to go up over a longer term period. These people don't age, they age year by year, but that's part of the long-term bull case. And then finally, the fact that they just recently partnered with Tencent to break into the Chinese market. We've talked here also about the splitting of the economy, but Roblox is a relatively benign, open platform, and most US tech companies do not get granted access to such a large market. And the fact that they could potentially get that distribution only expands their total addressable market substantially. The bear case really comes down to what we've seen with Epic Games versus Apple, and the potential change for policies associated with distribution, with the fees that are charged. They have significant platform risk in that more than 60% of their total activities happens within the iOS or Android ecosystem. So those players will remain gatekeepers on the upward potential of this company. But if that can be in any way, shape, or form diversified away from or hedged, that really takes one of their biggest risks off the table.
Yeah, that is the primary risk. I would say the other one is I've seen so many stories just pop up in the last year because Roblox has grown so quickly about unsavory characters infiltrating the game, and because the user base is so young, I think with them going public, obviously they are going to have to increase the people on the policies that are surrounding like how to handle a situation like that. I don't know. It is grounds for predatory behavior, but I don't think it's going to necessarily take them down. So that's the only other aspect of the bear case that I'd be able to think of.
Very fair. Let us know in the comments if you are going to be participating in any way, shape, or form in investing in Roblox in their public offering, and what IPO you want us to cover next. There are a lot coming up. Our second story, and only other story of the day, is SalesLoft raising $100 million at a $1.1 billion valuation. You've probably never heard of SalesLoft before. They are a sales enablement platform. The way to think about that is it is the kind of natural evolution or growth out of the traditional sales CRM space. So CRMs exploded as a kind of digital database for the folks that you're connected to, engaging with in some way, shape, or form as a salesperson. And sales enablement is just applying significantly more machine learning, a more in-depth software package to support the sales efforts of an enterprise. If there are multiple parties collaborating on the same deal, if there is content that can be used to amend and support the general sales efforts of the salespeople. SalesLoft, along with a number of other competitors, is built to do that specifically. And the company, which has raised $245 million in total, is up from a $600 million valuation in April of 2019, now up to that $1.1 billion valuation, and a win for Atlanta, Georgia. So we also look at this through the lens of, there's a ton of San Francisco startups, there's a ton of companies in these kind of traditional startup regions, and then there's these other ones that are trying to get going, and they need those first couple of banner carriers to win. Mm-hmm. And this falls in that category of a winner for Atlanta.
Totally, and it just feels like there's so much opportunity in that space specifically. Like, so much of the sales process is based around the face-to-face human interaction and getting all of those touch points between the moment that you meet a potential client to the moment a deal closes. And I just think this is going to make everything so much more seamless, and obviously that's really needed now with everything being virtual, so it's pretty exciting to see.
One of the crazy things that I was looking at some of their videos is you'll record your sales call and then it is available for the manager to like scrub and coach and break down.
And it offers like in real time monitoring when you're composing messages and emails. It's crazy.
Yeah. Some big customers: Google, LinkedIn, Cisco, Dell, IBM, 3M, many others. Probably in that category of like Zoom Info type of IPOs here in the next 2 years, or direct listings.
Or direct listings.
It's Friday.
It is Friday, and that's the rundown. After show.
Goals, objections, concerns for the weekend.
My goal is to...
Are you gonna be painting at all?
I will definitely be painting.
What are you painting? Mist.
No, big ol' miss. I don't know. Inspiration has yet to strike, but I'm also going to be cooking.
Do you like painting lightning? Because you paint seas and you paint ships.
I do like painting lightning.
You should make a thunderstorm.
That's
like a ship,
an idea.
a ship going through a thunderstorm, and like, but the centrality of the piece is, damn, that's a big ass piece of lightning.
I like it.
You could even write that on the painting.
I could,
Yeah.
actually. I think
You say like a picture's worth 1,000 words?
Yeah, but if words are on there, it helps a little.
Yeah, it's a picture of words.
I like it. Very creative.